Hello and welcome back to Aladdin Tech Tips. In this tutorial, I'll be teaching you how to make a simple server and client application. This will be a part of a two-part series, and first, we'll do the client side. So to begin, we're going to start off with a public class, so public class, and then call it client. And we're going to have our main method, and then we are going to start. Okay, so first we need to create two integers called int number and int temp. Int number will be the number that the user will enter, and int temp will be a temporary placeholder for the number, and it will also print out the number that the server sends us back. So to start off, we're going to import scanner, and at first it will give us an error because we haven't imported any of the java.utils, but we can do that later. So new scanner and system.in. As you can see, there is an error, and all we have to do is click import scanner, and it does that right up here. We're going to do this for a few more objects that we're going to call. So next up, we're going to call a socket. Socket s equals new socket, and we're going to say over here we're going to put the IP address of the local host, and that is always going to be 127.0.0.1, and then after that we're going to put the port number. In this case, since we're using a local host, we can put any port number, and I prefer to just use a random number like 4477 and then semicolon. And now we're going to import the socket, and it shows up here. Now that we have that, we also have to add a throws declaration, or surround this whole block of code with a try and catch. I prefer to just add a throws declaration, so let's do that. And it has added them over here. So next up, we're going to be importing another scanner that will be used to read the input that the server sends us back. Although we haven't made the server yet, but still. So scanner sc1 equals new scanner, and then we're going to say s.get input stream, and we're going to end it off with a semicolon. Then we're going to prompt the user to enter the number. So we're going to say system.out.println, please enter the number you want to send to the server. And next, we're going to create a print stream object, which will allow us to actually send our number to the server. So print stream p equals new print stream. Then we're going to say s.get output stream. And then we're going to write down our number that we want to send to the server. But before that, we should import the print stream in java.io. Okay, so now we're going to say p.println, and we're going to print out number. So as of right now, number does not have a value. So to add a value to number, underneath system.out.println, we're going to say number equals sc.nextInt. And what that does is it gets the integer that the user has entered, so the number that the user has entered, and stores it in the integer called number. So now we're going to create our temp, and we're going to say temp equals sc1, so the other scanner, and sc1.nextInt. And the next int will be what stores the integer that the server sends back after modifying it, and stores it into the temp integer. Next, we're gonna print out the temp. So system.out.println. We're gonna say temp. So there's our client side done. So to review, we import these so that we can use many of these objects and some exceptions. Okay, so let's just say to use exceptions and objects. Then we're going to say public class client, that's the class name. And this is our main method with exceptions. These are our variables. So declaring variables. Temp is the number sent back. The number sent back from the server. And this is the user input number. Next, we use the scanner so we can read the user input that the user wants and wants to send to the server. So we'll say reads user input for number. And we have our socket. Socket is an interface that allows the server and client to communicate. So socket allows for communication between server and client. Now, our next scanner is used for reading the server input, and then system.out.println is our prompt message asking the user to give int number of value. Next, we assign number to the next int, so whatever the user has entered. So assigns user input to the number integer. And then p.printstream is used to send and print to the server. So used to print to the server. And notice how it uses an S, which is the object for the socket. And the socket's the thing that allows for communication between the server and the client. And that's why we use them. And then p.println is just to send the number over. And we should actually remove these quotations so we actually use the integer and not just a random thing called number. So p.println is used to send the number to the server. Then we have our temp. Temp is used to store the modified number that the server sends back. And then this prints out the modified number that we have stored in temp. And this closes our main method. And the last curly brace closes our class. So, I hope you have learned how to create a client side for a server-client application today. And be sure to stay tuned so we can make the server side. I'll see you all in the next video.